Testing. Hello team, welcome back. If you are new around here, my name's Luke. I am Kratos Physio. If you are an OG, then welcome back. I make videos, I'm going to try and start making a lot more videos, but I make videos about physiotherapy, injuries, rehabilitation, fitness, health, etc. And then this little segment that we're going to be introducing today to the channel is going to be a mixture of things. It's going to be a little bit sit down. It's going to be easy listening. Well, I hope it to be easy listening. It doesn't matter if there's one person listening or just myself watching the videos or my parents. It doesn't matter. But I want to make a little bit lighter, consumable content. I think that's where I've really struggled with my short form content is... Sorry, I keep on moving around, by the way. This is on my normal microphone is normally on my table. If you do follow me on Instagram, you'll know where it is. It's normally based on this table, hangs down, but the arm was just like really in the way of the camera. So I've attached it to the whiteboard, which you can see the whiteboard a little bit, but it's not very stable. And I don't know how much of it is picking my voice up, but we'll see. We'll record the video. We'll see. It's not going to be perfect in the first time round. But yeah, where was I? The short form content side of things is where I think that's where I really struggle. You go on short form, you go on Instagram, you go on TikTok, wherever it is, and all you see, yap. You got to be yapping, you got to be doing this, you got to be showing yourself. You have to have a personal brand. And when you're like me, I'm a Scorpio. Okay, I'm very, very very small circle. Very private. I'm not really massively into star signs, but for some reason, my Instagram and TikTok has been absolutely, well, I know the reason, but it's been absolutely flooded by tarot ladies and even a tarot man now. Fair play to him. But every single star sign and every single person I know, their star signs just match up. It's crazy. I'm not a massive voodoo type person, but it's very, very strange with the personality traits and everything. So there must be something to it. But I know environment creates a lot about our personality and traits, but there must be something to it. Anyway, I'm a Scorpio, so I tend to be very, very private with things, okay? I'm going to sneeze. Look into the light. I've got about 500 lights around here just to get the aesthetics right. Where was I? I keep on going off a tangent. We are going to get into the video very soon. But a very private person. So short form content, trying to build a brand and everything like this when you don't like doing vlogs. You don't want to show your life and share your life, but you want to share your business, get people to like you in order to work with you, because everyone at the end of the day just creates the same content and they copy each other's content as well. That's another thing that I hate about short form content. So doing on short form content, I think that's where I've struggled with a lot. Education, coaching, talking to camera and everything like that is very easy now. Anyway, I put the years into to get better at it. But from the side of things in terms of sharing my life, it's not something that comes natural to me. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. Contrary to belief, even though I have amassed 600,000 followers. Appreciate you all, by the way. Probably a lot of them don't even know if they're still following me. But contrary to belief, I don't actually like social media. I don't actually have any personal accounts. Last time I had a personal Instagram account was 18 months ago, I'd say. It would be coming up to 2 years. I don't really like social media. I feel like when I'm on TikTok, I just doom scroll. I'm going through all the different type of emotions. Going from sad, happy, buzzing, laughing my eyes out. And all just to go to sleep. It's not the emotions that you need to be able to get a good deep sleep, isn't it? So contrary to belief, I don't like social media. I don't have personal social media pages, but I know the importance of it for my business, and I love working online. I like all the positive things that I like about social media is in the sense of creating the content, if that makes sense, creating the content to provide value, to change people's lives, to impact them, to inspire them. Yes, a lot of people do entertainment, and the entertainment side of things as well, if you actually look at it, can help a lot of people as well. If you've had a really rubbish day, you might want to get back to your favorite content creator, and they've just made some really silly. So for example, on my TikTok, I follow this family who have, it's clearly entertainment, but they have this family of dogs. And there's this one golden retriever. They've got 3 golden retrievers, Maverick, Goose, and this one golden retriever called Bauer. He is the nuttiest dog in the world. And when they do their videos, I sit down, and the emotions that come into me, I just love it. It makes me relax. So yeah, even if people create entertainment content, there's the pros to social media in short form. But I don't like doing or sharing my life per se. Really struggle with that with the stories as well. So it's a bit of a struggle to get people to, you have to allow them to know you, to like you in order to work with you. I had this one client before, he was like, yeah, as soon as I saw that you were a Liverpool fan, I was like, yeah, I'm going to follow you, I'm going to work with you, etc. And I was like, well, fair enough, yeah, that's good. But it made me click. But then I really struggled to put like a weekly post out in terms of what I've been up to this week. You might see some influencers and stuff and recapping the week and stuff. And I don't take like if you look at my phone, my photos are just purely Cooper. Like, he's probably gonna come walk through here soon. So if you see the door behind me just open up, you might see a little snoozy pup. Gonna go take him for a lovely walk this evening. Make the most of the light evenings before winter comes. But yeah, if you look at my phone, I don't take photos of things. It's just of Cooper, and then if I'm playing tennis, do tennis and stuff. Or I just take photos of sunsets, and yeah, I don't take photos of myself. I don't document my work, etc. If that makes sense. So this little segment could be a little documentation of work. I've had a really productive morning, to be fair. Restructured my business, restructured services. I've got AI in the background on Shopify. Well, it says it's still working. I don't know if it is, but a little hero welcome page on my homepage. So yeah, I've had a real productive morning, but I don't really document many things. And they say you have to document it. And they say a load of stuff, don't they, on social media? So yeah, I don't like short form. So this little segment is going to be like a sit down segment. So I've got some notes here in front of me. Rather than using my iPad, but got some notes. Gonna use this sort of time to introduce what this little segment is going to be. It's going to be like a sit down. So if you see me sat down, this is what we might be doing. Okay, we're gonna have a little yap like this. Okay, I love a good old yap, especially when you have a really good yap with a person that you either love or you're really fond of. Like this takes you away, doesn't it? So. Yeah, when you see me sat down, it might be varied in terms of like different locations. I've got this light behind me, got a light there. I'm trying to make things look good. Okay, so if you see me sat down, we're probably and the microphone here, or if I sit down and go in front of the whiteboard, etc. But we're going to use this segment to talk about a load of different things. We can be just having a yap, have a little catch up. What we're doing now. We could be going through exercises. We could be going through like a latest athlete's injury. We could be going through a program, a training split. We could be talking about, so physiotherapy and injuries and rehabilitation and health and life is not just a physical thing. It's not just training, etc. And for my clients that know me and the people close to me, they will probably back me up when I say this, that I'm a very empathetic person, which is probably why I'm a physiotherapist, but very emotionally intelligent. And I would say, not a very nice way to put that, I'm a very emotionally intelligent, emotionally available, and that sort of stuff. But it's a weird way to say it, isn't it? Trying to big yourself up, trying to say your characteristics. But yeah, I've got the EQ there. And the IQ there to balance it all together for physiotherapy and injury rehabilitation. Like, yes, I'm not the smartest when it comes to the scientific side of things. There could be loads more scientific people or smarter when it comes to that. But there's certainly dumber, I would say, individuals when it comes to that as well. But yeah, so I've got a book here that I'm going to read a little quote to you later on. But we're going to use this segment just to, like, there's so much things about life. But what I was trying to say was a lot of my clients and friends and people that know me would back me up in a sense of, I know what to say, when to say it. I don't know what flashed there. When to say it, how to say it to people, how to really get through to them, how to understand. One of my favorite characteristics about, or things about myself. I don't know why it keeps flashing. It's done it twice now. But one of my favorite characteristics and traits about myself is, and it could be also a negative flaw as well, but I can really read someone. As soon as I meet them, I can vibe with them. I'm someone whose energy has to match their energy as well. So yeah, we're going to be talking about a load of different things in life. Talking about and view it from a lens and a paradigm to help you with your injury, your fitness and stuff. So that's been a very long-winded introduction. A lot of these videos aren't going to be as long-winded as this. And like I said, they're probably not going to get views for the time being anyway. But that's the good thing about YouTube, is evergreen content. So in 3 months, 4 months time, we'll stick to it, and people are going to have a load of catalog things to look back on. They get to know me a little bit better. And if one person gets some help from this, then that's going to be all the merrier, isn't it? So yeah, if you see me sat down, we're going to be conversing a load of different things. Like I said, yapping stuff, talking about things, talking about training, talking about business, talk about life, talk about what I've been up to with tennis and training and stuff, talk about redirection, which today's video is actually going to be a little bit about redirection and finding your passion again. So there's going to be loads of different things that we talk about. Talk about training splits and everything. I've already mentioned that, so I've kept repeating myself. And this is what I mean. I'm getting used to this side of things as well, and I've forgotten what I've said. I want to try and get rid of those filler words. If you watch back the last video, the amount of times I said okay, if you get yourself a little drink and take a little shot every time I said okay, you'd be absolutely paralytic. I need to get better at looking at the lens rather than the screen. So hopefully you'll see a little journey of me getting more natural with the long form side of things, getting more natural with the yapping stuff and everything like this. So yeah, we've done that. Let's take that off in terms of introducing this segment. We're going to be talking about, in today's video, talking about finding your passion again and mixing that with redirection. Then I'm going to just talk about a little quote from this book and how it's just from yesterday. So it's the Daily Stoic. I'll get this book now. Daily Stoic. Okay, by Ryan Holiday, 366 meditations on wisdom. Okay, can you see that? Okay, guys. So using meditations from like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and all that sort of stuff. Fantastic book, but it gives you like a little quote and little reading, a little sort of stoic mindset type thing every single day. And yesterday's, so we're filming this actually. Yesterday's August the 6th. I feel like it was a really, really good one and going to help a lot of you guys as well. So we'll talk about that. And then we might finish off, depending on how long I am yapping for, we might finish off with talking about a little conversation I had with a client the other day who's struggling a bit at the moment with a flare-up. But I needed to educate them in terms of how, when we are struggling with a flare-up, how your compensations and your muscle guarding will go kick up, your habits will kick back up, and then your range of motion in certain movements will look like they're worse again or progressively getting worse, rather than thinking about, okay, everything's guarded, so of course my range of motion is going to be a little bit lost, a little bit lacking. So let's talk about finding passion. Again, I have had a bit of a stinker of a year, I would say. Stinker of a while now. Sorry about that as well. That's probably my worst habit as well, is slurping. You didn't need to hear that. I might actually try and bleep that out because that was not good. My brother takes piss out of me all the time about slurping cup of teas and stuff. But yeah, finding passion again. And that's not just in the sense of like health, well-being and everything. It's about a lot of different things in life. Finding your passion, finding what joy, finding happiness again. But for me, when it comes to training, yeah, I've had a bit of a stinker of a year, like 2026 so far. And I think that's another reason why I want to do these sort of videos, is hold myself accountable. I am very someone who holds myself accountable. I feel like when you're in a slump of your negativity thoughts, it breeds negativity. And the only way to get out of that is to take action. You can't think your way out of negativity. Just relying on yourself to think positive, to bring positivity to your life, that's hard to do. Okay, so you have to act your way through things in life. You can't just keep on. And I found myself just speaking, just saying a load of different things. I'd say I was going to start this, saying I'm going to do all this, saying I'm going to do blah blah blah. Let's get back in running, take my running seriously, take my training seriously again. Start meeting people in terms of like playing paddle and tennis and everything like this. Meeting people to go for dog walks and stuff. I found myself saying a lot of things. But then the negativity just breeds that more negativity. So I wanted to hold myself more accountable, hence the sit down video. Like I said, if 2 people watch this, I do not care, but I'm holding myself accountable. And that's what you need to do with your rehab, your training, but your own health, okay, physical and mental health and social side of things. Where was I? Talking about finding passion again, wasn't I? I went off on a bit of a tangent in terms of, So negativity breeds negativity. It does help massively, obviously, to have your support network. I know what it is now. It's this bloody light that keeps flashing. So it really does help. But when your close network of friends, family, loved ones, when they're struggling as well, it's harder for them to rely on them for positivity, if that makes sense. My best friends, one's in Australia, so I don't see him like once a year at best. And my other one is living back home where I'm from, down in Suffolk. So he's like 3 to 4 hours away. And I find myself at the moment in between lives, if that makes sense. In between my old life, trying to find my new life. And when you get to our age, getting old, getting on a bit, I used to rely on playing football teams, everything like this. And that's how you'd meet more people. And you get to know your people, if that makes sense. But at the moment, because of my gammy knee, can't play football, I'm having to find my passion with other things such as tennis, a new sport, golf, new sport, etc., paddle. You're learning all these new things, but you have to find your passion again and you have to meet new people. But what you struggle with when you get to this age, especially I'm a solopreneur, I don't work with, like my colleague is Coops, he's my dog. So I work on my own, whereas in a lot of people, they will rely on seeing people at work, won't they? So to say, like, when you're trying to find your passion, but you're trying to make new friends in a new city, perhaps, and you'll feel like you'll never make that same connection as your closest friends, your best friends. You'll never meet people like that on that level. And then so for example, talking about finding my passion, where I'm struggling at the moment is I'll play all these people. I can play all these people at tennis and paddle and everything. You meet them and make new friends with them and stuff, but they've got their own life. And then you don't actually, you don't connect with them on that level that you want to connect with them, if that makes sense. So talking about finding passion again, I don't even know what I was talking about there. And this is what I mean. I'm yapping away, and there needs to be structure, doesn't there, with what I'm talking about. But finding passion again, I went through that phase, like I said, with the gym, and that's why I joined that new gym. Trying to find my passion again with training. There was a period where I think, because like I said earlier in the video, where I was waking up, going to film myself at the gym, film myself, do my training session throughout the whole week, waking up early morning to do my gym sessions. Loved the resilient side of this, but after I did my knee, I couldn't play football, couldn't run and everything like this. And I completely lost that love of training. Every time I went to the gym, I felt like it was work. Like I was going there and having to work and film and stuff. So I had to go away, and when I moved out of Sheffield, I found a gym. I was going to that gym. There's a couple of videos of my content on there, going to that gym and stuff. But there was people there that followed me on social media. And again, when you're going through a little bit of a tough time, and then you're not sharing your private life, and then these people know you and stuff, you go into yourself. If you have a bit of a following, you'll go into yourself. If you're like me, you'll go into yourself, and you feel like you have to put on this persona of who you are and stuff like this. And I didn't feel comfortable going to a gym where people knew me. So I was like, oh gosh. So my love of training completely lost, got out of shape and everything, and trying to regain it all back. And then I was like, right, I want to play tennis. I do love that. I want to start doing sport again and finding my passion with sport again. So I joined the David Lloyds, like I mentioned earlier. And ever since then, it was a change of environment that really helped me to find that passion again. And that's what I'm talking about here in terms of giving you some tips is if you feel like you've lost your passion for something in life, hold yourself accountable, act, and put yourself in a different environment to be able to fall. Everything that is worthwhile in life is tough. Okay. Going to a new gym, putting yourself out there to meet new people playing tennis and playing paddle, all that thing. Anything that is worthwhile is tough, and it will give you that feeling of, oh my gosh, this is tough. I don't want to do it. But that doesn't mean it's negative. It doesn't mean something bad of it is going to happen. And I think that's where people go wrong with their training. With they want to lose weight, it's really, really hard, and they think, oh, my hunger, something bad's going to, like, not saying that, but as severe, but something bad's going to happen. There's a lot of different other connotations in life where our anxiousness that comes into our life makes us feel that something negative is going to happen. Whereas it's actually just preparing you for what's going to happen. Once you can flip that switch into your mindset and try to think positive about that and try to put those feelings that you once had connotations of negativity, and you can put that into positivity, some really amazing things can happen. And you can find your passion again with life and training and whatever it is, okay? You can find your passion again. And it takes a lot of courage to be able to work on yourself, flip that switch, and take all of those hard things and those hard decisions into your life to breed positivity, to have positive thoughts and stuff. But that's what you need to do in order to find your passion again. Take accountability. But for me, and that's what probably to finish this little segment off, to give you the biggest bit of advice is place yourself in new environments. Change your environment. If something is really getting you down and whatever it is, it could be friends, it could be family, it could be loved ones, it could be your training, it could be your sport. Last year for me, Liverpool, what were you doing to me? Going to Anfield to go watch us draw at home to Burnley. What's going on? We had to change your environment. We've got a new gaffer in. The players this pre-season look really good and really excited. So changing environments is probably one of my biggest tips for that, in a sense of trying to find your passion again. And that really does help. So let's talk about redirection then. Off that segment, going into redirection. There's a clip that I love, and it's from a film called Surf's Up. If I can get a little clip from here, I'll put it on here now.
Where have you been, Z? What happened?
Oh, I got lost for a little while. But that kid there, Cody, he pointed the way back.
But I think, what's his name? It's either Cody or something like this. He goes, where were you? And he was like, I lost myself a little bit. I had to find myself, but he guided me the way or something. I'm butchering this again, like I did in the last video. I butchered the Italian, thinking it was an Italian Job reference, wasn't it? It was a Jaws reference saying we need a bigger boat. But yeah, talking about guiding yourself and having to find yourself again. And that's what redirection is, isn't it? It's talking about finding passion again and redirecting yourself into this new life of what you want to live and how you want to live it. And it goes in part and parcel, and that's very. I'm just going to click the screen because it's losing myself. And that goes in hand with rehab and training and everything, and finding that redirection to find your passion again. That phase. That's what I really wanted to talk about today, was that phase that you're in of trying to find your passion again, but redirect yourself into that new passion. That phase is tough. It's really tough. No matter what it is, it's tough. But tough things usually bring worthwhile things. But anyway, yeah, talk about redirection with that is we think and automatically think that hard things are negative and make it scary, when a lot of the time the hard decisions, the hard things in life, they're hard because of the emotion and the feeling that's involved with it, but the sweetness that comes from it and the change of your life. If you want to lose weight, it's hard, but that feeling that it brings you when you do lose weight. Me at the moment, I found my passion again with training, but running again. I have this weekly little trail run around Lady Bower Reservoir that I do on a Tuesday night. And I've put my, apologies to keep looking in like different places and not you guys, but I put my, I analyzed and I assessed and compared my first run compared to my most latest run and then my most PB, and seeing the progression, but also feeling the progressions of the run. They're tough. They're so hard whilst I'm doing them. Because I'd like to go for a PB every single week, but the feeling, the satisfaction of feeling fitter, it feels so good. Playing tennis, like every time I play someone better than me, very rare. I'm bageling everyone at the moment. 6 loves. I'm playing beating people that I was usually having close games with, and I'm just, something's clicked for me. My forehand's a smoke show, my serve's a smoke show. Everything's going well, but in order for me to get better, I have to play better people, and that's tough. But then the feeling of it all clicking, unbelievable. You working hard on a new business venture. You put in you slog so many hours and everything like this. I'm going to have to go back on this to edit it. That'll take ages. But everything's hard, but hopefully there's things that come after it, which is worthwhile. It makes everything worthwhile. So yeah, everything hard. And if you want to find your passion again with things, and you want to feel like you're in this different transition phase of redirection and finding yourself again, just be aware it is tough. It's going to be hard. And that's why you need those people who really, really love you, really like support you and guide you through your way, whether it's your coach, whether it's your physio, whether it's your partner, whether it's your family. Having that close network really does help you to spur on. And moving on to that, let's talk about that little thing. I had a conversation with one of my clients with a flare-up, okay? Talking about compensations and GARD and the lack of ROM and everything. And that's why it helps to have, like I said, we're transitioning now from talking about having people you can support with and stuff, especially when you're going through little tough periods. So I've got a client, hopefully, she won't mind me saying this. She was having a bit of a tough time recently. We're at this phase with her where we've rehabbed it. We've done fantastically to get her back to her training, but we're at this now, the stage of her rehab and her training where we're trying to make her rehab look like her training as closely as possible, trying to get her to train. She wants to be able to train in an ideal world 6 times per week, but the style of training she likes to do is very intense at times. And we're trying to get her back to being able to handle those intense sessions throughout the week of how many times she likes. She's going to take a quick sip of water. I either slurp or I dribble. Not good. At least it didn't go down the top. I was a bit worried. I was making my eggs for me and Coops, and water got onto my top. I was like, I'm going to have to film later. Thankfully, it wasn't oil and stuff. Thankfully, we're all good. Yeah, she was having a bit of a tough time. We took that next step in terms of intensity with her training. Week 1 was fantastic when we made those changes. Week 2, okay, but the tightness started creeping in and coming back in. But then week 3, sensations of her body, tightness, what she struggles with and impact with from her injury history. A lot of fatigue and overload symptoms came back in, so she was struggling with her tightness even more, within her rib pinching and stuff. During the exercise and during the session, she was okay, but a lot of her symptoms were coming in outside of it and after training, and when she was sitting down or at work and stuff. A lot of these symptoms were just capacity has clearly been exceeded type of symptoms. But when you've made so much progress and you've put so much hard work in, and then you start seeing your range of motion differences in terms of your rotation or your thoracic extension, and you start seeing these differences, and you start thinking, oh gosh, like, I'm never going to get back to being able to train how I want and all this sort of stuff. So it can get really, really disheartening. You can get really, really negative about it. But that's where it comes back in terms of the support, having the support there. So we were talking about it and everything, and I educated her to calm herself down and everything, and said about how when we exceed our capacity of what we want, okay, in terms of we're here, but we've been training here recently, and it's been a bit too much. We've not recovered enough. We'll get sensations of tightness. Our capacity is exceeded. We'll be getting tightness, fatigued. A lot of aches might creep back in, and then are sort of symptoms of our injury history. So for example, if you have got a history of back pain, unfortunately when you're stressed, this is for any injury, but unfortunately when you're stressed, etc., your back pain is going to be the area where your nervous system will try to protect as much as possible, because it's got a blueprint of that is still my weak area. It doesn't matter how much we rehab it and stuff. So if the system perceives it's under threat, it's going to send signals there to protect it. So she was struggling a little bit of a flare-up of tightness, and compensation patterns were kicking back in, and her muscle garden was kicking back in, so her habits were. So her range of motion was clearly going to be impacted in certain movements. But when we see that, it's very, very easy for us to be like, oh, I've regressed and everything, especially if you don't know in terms of what's going on with your body and stuff. And that's why it's really beneficial to have a coach and a physio on your side, and the support they're needed. So you can go back and talk about things and be educated with it, calm it down, and be aware and understand that things aren't going to be as bad as what they appear to be. And a lot of the time symptoms can fluctuate a lot. They can go up, but it doesn't mean we've regressed or we've caused more damage and stuff. So yeah, that's when it can really help to having that close support network and stuff. I am fully aware that it's 31 minutes. I don't know if anyone's actually going to sit down and listen to all this, but it's good to have it in the background and stuff. So the future videos aren't going to be as long as this, and we're going to wrap it up very, very soon with this video. But I just want to read you this quote, like I said, from the book by Ryan Holiday, The Daily Stoic. The quote. So how it goes, okay, for you guys want to know, we have a quote at the top and then some reading. So the quote at the top is usually like a meditation or a little quote from Seneca. So yesterday's was from Seneca, or it could be from Marcus Aurelius, etc. So August 6th, there is always more room to maneuver than you think. So the quote from Seneca is, apply yourself to thinking through difficulties. Hard times can be softened, tight squeezes widened, and heavy loads made lighter for those who can apply the right pressure. And Ryan Holiday basically goes on here as like, have you ever been hopelessly losing a game that suddenly broke wide open and you won? Remember that time when you thought you were certain to fail the test, but with an all-nighter and some luck, you managed to eke out a decent score? That hunch you pursued that others would have given up on, that turned out brilliantly. It's that kind of energy and creativity, and above all faith in yourself, that you need right now. Defeatism won't get you anywhere, but focusing on your entire effort, on the little bit of room, the tiny scrap of opportunity is your best shot. So he basically goes on to talk about how, what I was mentioning earlier, and that's why I wanted to talk about redirection and losing your passion, etc., is negativity feeds negativity. If you just simply feel like you're giving up, you are going to give up. The only ones where, like, when you feel like your back is up against the wall so much, if you just accept defeat, of course defeat is going to happen. But like the amount of times where you've probably, like, if you're especially in sport or fitness or anything, where you might be under the cosh, or your own football team, like I support Liverpool, we're known for late, especially in Europe, late comebacks. Istanbul, 3-3, we won on penalties. The famous night at Anfield against Barcelona, corner taken quickly. Origi. We're known for that. But if our back's up against the wall, us fans, we used to be like, even we know anything can magically happen at Anfield and stuff, but even we know, oh gosh, but there's that small little glimmer of hope. And you have to have that glimmer of hope in life to find your passion, to find yourself being redirected into the life that you want to live. 2, what I just mentioned there, talking about flare-ups and compensations, muscle guard and lack of range of motion. If you just accept defeat, you're not going to find yourself being accountable to take action and go from there. So we'll leave you with that and that little segment, and we'll do a little outro now because it's now 35 minutes. As you can tell, I like to yap. And yeah, so a lot of these videos, they're not going to be like this. Apologies, guys. Like, yeah, if you've made it to the end, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But this is the type of like lighter content. Hopefully you can have it on in the background. You can listen to my soothing voice. Probably not soothing. Let me know, guys, if you think I've got an accent, because I've lived in multiple different areas and I don't know myself if I've got an accent. If when I listen to my best friend, he's proper like farmer boy. It's so funny. Have you got a light, boy? It's so funny. Anyway, yeah, I'm rambling now. It's now 3:15. Gonna take Coops for a lovely little walk. So my weekend, and this is again why I don't vlog, but my weekends I just do the same thing all the time. I've got a Kindle. Like, you can see my smile on my face. All I do at the moment is just think about reading. I was on the phone with my mum the other night, and she was like, "Do you feel like you're sleeping better because you're reading your Kindle before you go to bed?" And I was like, you know what? I'll go into bed. I start for me, and I don't know about you guys as well, but I'll look at my chapter and I'll be like, how long have I got left before the end of this chapter, so I know, okay, whether I want to read this chapter or not. And then I might be really sleepy starting the chapter, but then the chapter gets really exciting, then it finishes, and then I want to read and I want to continue reading. My mum was like, "Are you sleeping well?" I was like, "Well, yeah, my sleep score's gone up and improved, but there's a lot of nights where I just don't want to put the book down and I'm still reading there." So yeah, that's part and parcel. But yeah, so that's all I want to do. Like, all weekend, I've got about 50 pages left of this my latest book, and then bang onto the next book. I'm just so stoked about it. So yeah, that's all I do: read, walk Coops, gym, train, play tennis, play golf, play paddle. And that's why I want to do these videos, is I want to hold myself more accountable to actually doing the things that I say I want to do. So let's leave you with that. Let me know what it is that you want to do, whether you do comment on this YouTube video or you drop me a message on Instagram. If you do want to work with me, a little plug here, I have restructured a lot of my different services now. If you go on the down the box in the description blocks, you'll see a little bit of a different structure. Got some couple of new programs coming up very soon as well. So yeah, if you want to work with myself, etc., put it in there. All the best. Have a pleasant. Well, you'll be watching this on Sunday, hopefully, anyway, or whenever you want to be watching it. So whenever you watch it, I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. Make the most of the end of this summer, okay? The nights are going in. Get yourself out there, guys. Just walk. Make a massive ton of difference to yourself. Whatever your goals are, your mood, etc. Just get yourself out in nature, okay? That's what I'll be doing this weekend. Big up the National Trust. That's where I'll be walking with Coops. So yeah, a pleasure. If you have got this far, I have rambled on, but they're not going to be as much. They're going to have more structure. I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to teach myself have more structure. This is like a bloody podcast, basically, isn't it? So yeah, didn't mean to be this one. So the next video, I'm probably going to break you down some exercises for some knee pain, etc. We're going to do like on and off videos with the whiteboard, coaching videos, and like this sit down stuff as well, and then going through some exercises as well. But yeah, like I said, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.